Twitch for 2 years now, and I've done a 24-hour stream, a 12-hour stream on December 1st of 2020, and then a 24-hour stream on my birthday, February 20th, 21. And then on the December 1st of the next year, I did a raid set, which was 14 artists that do 1 hour each and raid each other consecutively. And it was freestylers, loopers, beatboxers, and DJs. And I got another one in July coming up. And then on my birthday, of course, I did that world record thing. So I just keep trying to come up with bigger and bigger events of testing and challenging myself.
Expand on the world record thing.
Yeah, man, it was crazy because around the time of January, Watsky had just done the record. And so I ended up sort of watching that just out of curiosity of who had the longest freestyle. I forget what I was looking it up for, but he ended up having it. And I don't know, I was just like, man, I could do that shit. And not in a competitive way, but just like I wanted to do that shit. So I applied for it in March, and then it takes 12 weeks for approval. In July, they sent me the email saying that now we just need the evidence. So I held on to that idea, not really mentioning it. I put like a little secret revealer type thing on IG, that a picture of the Guinness website, so people would wonder. And then around after the raid set, because I concentrated on that and a few other things, and I was just getting into Somnium, I didn't really push the record thing until about the end of December/January. And I started saying, I'm about to go for this world record of the longest freestyle, 44 hours, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds.
Right.
And so, I needed a team of timekeepers, witnesses, and certain rules you got to follow with Guinness. So I got my team, Gadget Jam, to help me with that. And they were willing to go through and sit there and take shifts, because you can only do 4 hours on and 4 hours mandatory break for each witness.
So wait. Okay, can you explain that, the rules, the bit of the nuances there? So what I understood is, you applied to Guinness and said, I want to go for this record, and do you have to like prove that you're capable of doing it or something? Like, how does that work?
No, so they just send you the guidelines. If they needed to be here, I think that they would send somebody for some reason, or you would have to pay to have. So people think that they send them and they come out to do the record just because you ask, but you have to pay for that. You know what I mean? If you want the Guinness guy to be there with the whole suit and keeping track for you, you got to pay for that. And ultimately, there's a lot of rules that you have to follow from, the witness can't be anybody that's going to benefit from it, or, you can't stop rapping for more than 5 seconds. You can't stop the beat for more than 30 seconds. 5 minutes of break per hour. You can't repeat the same rap within 4 hours. And a couple other things. And I had to write down all the lyrics, keep, track of all the rest times.
Oh, you had to write down all the lyrics? So, Were you doing that, or was somebody doing that?
Well, we ended up recording it on YouTube, but luckily it transcribes it for you. So I'm going to copy and paste everything and then just verify that it's all correct. But I still got to listen to it all to make sure. And it's going to be a lot of time. I still haven't even jumped in. I've started the Excel sheet for all the time and stuff, and I've started to try to keep track of everything, but it's going to take like a week's time total.
That's wild. So
it's like a college project for real.
So you have to keep track of who each witness was for each person, and each witness has all their own rules. So they have to go 4 hours swapping in and out, etc., making sure that it's legit. They can't benefit from it. You have to now logistically do all this. This was all streamed. I saw it was a bunch of several Twitch streams. I could see it like 12 hours on YouTube. So you have all the footage now that can go, this is exactly how it went. And then once you can kind of bake it into a package that makes it easy for Guinness to understand,
then they would just confirm it. But we're basically our own timekeepers, and we had to do all the work for this.
That's a lot, but it's probably worth it, because then you're going to show up on Google and they go longest freestyle thing and not Watsky. I have to give you props, though. I don't want any shade with Watsky, but like deep into his thing, it wasn't my favorite. It was dope in the sense that he was doing it, but it was I was impressed by your energy deep into it. Like, you somehow sounded fresh, like 30, 40 hours. Because I watch a lot of it, but I mean, you see it's happening, so I popped in.
From what you've seen.
And I was really, like, and I watched it live a bit. I think I was around when you broke the record. Like, so.
Yeah, I remember seeing you.
And it was like fucking like it was cool. But that was when I was like, wait, he's been rapping for 47 hours and he still sounds kind of fresh. And I'm like, that's fire. Like, sets a higher standard because sometimes people be a little lazy with the long ass freestyles. So I was just, how long have you done this? Like, because it feels like you've been really at the freestyling. Like, is this like a main focus for you more than say songwriting or other elements?
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I recently posted on Twitter, man. Sometimes when I go to write, it like bothers me how much I got to sit and control my energy to write. And I do write good. Like I could rap you something written and it'd be like better than my freestyles. But for some reason, freestyling is more satisfying, and just the freedom I get from it is not as, constricting, or, it doesn't make me feel like I have to write something for, to impress or whatever. I can just freestyle and somewhat say something. For one, it gives you more heart, or you can sense more heart from it. And then two, if you get to the level like Harry Mack or somebody where you can freestyle really everything, that every line is dope, which is what I'm trying to get to, then, that's like just the same, if not better than writing. Cause I feel like I already have the writing skill if I sit down and concentrate. But when I do finally sit down, I get antsy and I just like start wanting, for one, I get distracted, but two, I just really start wanting to like see result, and it just sort of bothers me sometimes when I write compared. So yeah, it's been more of a concentration since we used to go to Dunedin Lyricist Society with my boy John Diddy. That was like 2000 and I don't even know, bro. It's been like a good 7-8 years. And that around the time when I first got the RC was my only form of expression, was to go down there once a week to freestyle. And it just really honed in my skills. And I was already pretty decent back then. And a lot of people always seen that and been like, yo, Cess, you always kill it. And it was like, but I just wasn't as good as I am now, obviously. But it was like, I'd say total a good 7-8 years of freestyling as like a more focused concentration.
No, I feel that. I have a question that I completely forgot to ask you that I would be remiss to not ask. How did you land on Scessions?
Oh, that's actually, it was so crazy because I wanted to come, I go by, my real name is Cesar, and I go by Cess, which is from back in the day. Somebody was like, man, your name's too hard, I'm gonna call you Cess. And it just sort of, and then it sort of stuck, and I love Cess because of how that came about. And when I created Sidetracked, I started doing the 70 streams in 70 days, but I didn't want it to be twitch.com/sidetrack sessions, because I spell it with a CKT instead of an ED at the end. And then plus sessions, it's just all that was too much. So let me go back to this too. Sidetracked was me freestyling on the sidewalk. Sessions is the Twitch version of that busking. And so I ended up, to simplify it on YouTube, I made S for Sidetrack and then Sessions, and then it became Sessions. And now people call me that, which I actually like, because I wanted to come up with a name besides Cess, but I just could not. And I didn't want to really change it if it wasn't as good.
That's wild. I just thought your name was Sessions. Like, that's how I've only ever seen you. Because I got into VR, which is, for me, the geekiest part of this that I'm the most excited for, back in like whatever. So as I talk about VR, I got told Sessions, and the next dude whose name starts with M that I can't remember right now, they already be doing it. And I said, what? They already be doing it? How am I not following this person? And that's when I jumped on and saw Peep You with your little VR background and stuff. And so I just always saw it as Sessions, and it just says Sessions everywhere. And that's how people just refer to you as. So I'm just like,
exactly.
And I'm like,
it's crazy, man, because I wanted a name, and then it ended up being perfect because it came about accidentally.
Because I low key thought the capitalized Cess part was about weed. And I fucking had no idea it was anything else, but that's wild.